Well, Gaffer, Portsmouth at home on Saturday. They'll be backed by a good travelling support. The Posh fans are coming out as well to support your team, and I'm guessing you're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are. You know, it's a brilliant football club that we're entertaining on Saturday. You know, they're famous worldwide for their supporters, and so they should be. I've been and seen Portsmouth many times at Fratton Park and many times away from home, and I'm sure if they played in a car park in the North East, there'd be 3,000 or 6,000 supporters there. Good team, good players, good manager, good assistant manager. Everything about them's good. I said at the start of the season I thought they would challenge for promotion. I think that even more, having seen some of the performances as we prepare for this game. We're in good form ourselves. We're working hard, and where we're having those little inconsistencies in terms of times and games, where character and desire is coming through and getting us over the line. So both fans will turn up in good numbers. There'll be a fantastic atmosphere. It's what the players deserve of both clubs when it's 1 and 2 in the division. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 games or 22 games. If it's 30 or 42 games, it takes more relevance. But every 3 points is hard to get. And you only get a chance to get 3 points playing a team at home or away. And this is our opportunity to get 3 from Pompey.
You graded your squad as a B in the paper, which shows that there's plenty of room for improvement. Is that where you see the squad after 8 games so far?
Listen, I think if it's just based, if somebody had said how well have they done in terms of accumulating points, it's almost a distinction, treble gold star, and probably the draw saves it from being words that I probably even know what they mean, other than very good. But I think some of our play has been patchy. We've invited opponents to have the ball too much at times. But the wonderful thing this group has been able to do is if they're not playing to the game plan, is revert to the game plan and find a way to win. And I can remember Sean Dyche at Burnley when they scored after 40 seconds of my time at Leeds and they beat us 1-0, but we laid saves to the goal for 90 minutes and we couldn't score, and he said afterwards, we found a way to win today. It'd be nice to find a way to win against Pompey on Saturday.
And that's the important thing, isn't it? Because you've got to have different strings to your bow. You can't go out and blitz teams like you have done this season. There's going to be times where you're going to have to dig in. There's going to be times where you have to come from behind, or in Southend's case, when you get pegged back, to go again.
Listen, we're going to lose games from winning positions. We're going to lose games from losing positions. We said at the start of the season that this was, and you can see them behind me, the squad of men on the board. We said it was a squad and not an eye, not an individual, not 1 or 2. Last season, we all know, was about Marcus Maddison and Jack Marriott. They were the 2 that carried the team to the top half of the table. Otherwise, it might not have been so nice. We said this wasn't about individuals, this was about a group. And that's been very evidential in recent weeks when it's been the bench that's won the games for us. And it'll be other players at different times that will win the games. But the nice thing is we'll win together, we'll lose together, we'll come back in the next day and we'll work hard together to improve, and that's what we're trying to do, improve and make all those small margins go in our favour.
Those 3 players that came off the bench last week at Southend, Marcus Maddison, Ivan Toney, Joe Ward, had a massive impact, and I guess they've been banging on your door this week to try and get into your starting 11.
Well, I think they're banging on the door in terms of the training ground. Each one of them has carried on what they delivered at Southend onto the training ground this week. And you don't get in the Peterborough United team. Those days are gone where you can come in the office and talk your way into the team. You have to produce performances in training. When there's games for you to play in, whether it be reserve games or closed door games like we had on Monday, you can play your way into the team. So let your football do the talking and not your mouth. And rightfully 3 or 4 come into your mind for Saturday. This is a different type of opponent. It's a dangerous animal because they're hungry to go back to where they came from, which is the Premier League. And they've got, in my opinion, the manager and the staff and the players there to achieve that. So we'll need to be at our very best to get anything from the game, and probably the best under me here by some distance if we're to win.
And just finally, a bit of housekeeping. Cookie's back in training and available for selection should you require him?
Yeah, and he's been good as well, Cookie, to be fair. He's a tenacious, hungry midfield player, and he's been run about today. We've had to put a little lead on him and pull him back a little bit because he's been chomping to get back out with the boys. He was out early in the week but fully involved today. And training was good today. It was bright, they were loud, they were noisy. There was a lot of cheering for little finishing competitions, etc. we had. So that's what we want, a loud and lively and happy training ground. And if you get that, you normally get working lads, and we've got a hard working group for sure.